Today's podcast is presented by Podgo. Podgo is the easiest way for you to monetize your podcast, providing podcasters with a flat rate for ad space so you always know how much you get when you include an ad from Podgo.
Apply today and become a member and immediately be connected with advertisers that fit your audience. That's podgo.co at podgo.co.
And be sure to add our podcast in the How Did You Hear About Podgo section of the application.
Ideals like peace, freedom, and justice, they get packed up, but we can all go home. Well, I'm not going home. I'm gonna get on my boat, and I'm going upriver, and I'm going to kick that son of a bitch bison's ass so hard that the next bison wannabe is gonna feel it. Now, who wants to go home and who wants to go with me?
Welcome to the Rated G for Gamers podcast, episode 236. Before we start the show, we want to thank all of our wonderful fans who have supported us. And if you want to show support for Rated G, you can find us on Patreon at patreon.com/Rated G for Gamers. You can also find us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Rated G for Gamers. And finally, please rate and review us on iTunes and Spotify. We appreciate all the love. I'm your host, Dave Rotino, and this is my co-host, Dan, the podcaster formerly known as Classic Robinson.
What's going on, man? How was your weekend?
Weekend is very chilly, Dan. It is, the seasons have turned. No, it is not. No, it is not. We talked about it a few episodes ago, you know, the end of the summer, end of the beach weather. You kind of capped it off with a nice little, okay, one more time at the beach. Very much fall. It is hoodie weather. It is jean weather.
It's pumpkin spice weather.
Pumpkin spice weather. Yeah, it all comes together. A new a nice tall glass of PSL, a nice cup of PSL right now. That'd be all right. I have some coffee, but I don't have the pumpkin spice in it.
I'm looking forward to going apple and pumpkin picking soon. That is like that's the.
Is that still a thing? Is that going on? Is that allowed?
Because it's outdoors. It's outdoors. You wear a mask.
I mean, yeah.
You just don't pick. Just wash the apples. Don't just eat it off the tree.
Oh, I was just gonna go like hog wild. I was gonna climb up the tree and just be like hump.
No,
can't do that.
You gotta wash the apples.
I can't do that. Yeah. So it is my favorite time of the year. I think it's your favorite time of the year too. I think that's fair to say. Football's back. It's pretty good. There's some great stuff on the streaming networks, right?
But instead of going to the beach this weekend, I took your advice. I finally watched Cobra Kai.
Danielson.
I binge watched both seasons. Incredible.
Yeah, it's good, right?
Incredible. No, it's really good. Really good.
Nobody would have expected a sequel of sorts, a new Karate Kid thing in the Karate Kid universe could be so good.
It was really, listen, I saw the first 2 to 3 episodes on
YouTube. Right? Yeah.
YouTube. And it's like the first 3 episodes were free, and then like the rest you had to pay for. And I was like, nah, I'm good. I'll wait until there's a promotion. And now that it's on Netflix, I binge watched it, and I was like, Dave was right. This is really good. And I also watched on Amazon The Boys, which is a weird name for sort of like a anti-superhero TV show. Right?
Well, it's the boys club, It's kind of
club.
like a fraternity, I think, is where they're going for. Yeah, that is a very weird show. It's a very weird show. It's like what if superheroes were dicks, right?
I wouldn't even say like if they were pricks or dicks. I would say like what if superheroes were just regular, they were just like regular people, like they had their own issues.
Regular, okay.
Regular. They just had superpowers. They got regular everyday issues, right? Insecurity and worried about the image, and it's like what if it was like what if Kanye was a superhero? Right. What if Kanye? What if Kanye had Superman powers?
I mean, he does. he makes banging music.
I was just saying, like if Kanye had Superman's powers, then he would definitely be on The Boys.
Oh my God! Oh, he sure would. He sure would. And I think the other interesting part too is that they treat. So there's like an organization that handles the superheroes, right? And the ultimate boys club in this like big corporation is the Seven, right? Here's basically their version of the Justice League, right? Here's your starting seven. These are the best of the best, and you have to
it was basically 100% Justice League without Batman. Right? It was definitely it was like a corrupt Justice League without Batman.
And they're like
everybody has superpowers,
right? And they have like bits in there where they're like, like the mayor of Boston will call up and they're like, we need help with crime in the city, and they go, okay, for like, for the low price or whatever, like you can have like A-Train and he could be your guy, right? He could be.
And A-Train's like the Flash. He's like the version of like the Flash. He can run really fast, but he's he's sort of addicted to drugs. So what if your superhero was addicted to drugs, right?
Yeah, right.
This is like Hancock Explored in a TV show.
Right?
I
never saw the movie.
Yeah, I like that movie.
I heard it was
a different type of superhero. It was a different type of superhero.
Mm-hmm.
Will Smith was good. I think that was his last good movie.
Yeah. So that is some like quality stuff. I am behind by an episode. I think you said you're on episode 4. I'm behind by one episode.
I watched last Friday's episode.
It
was actually really good.
Nice.
So all right, we have a good show for you this week. Coming up, we're going to talk about PlayStation 5 price and release date finally revealed. And we're going to talk about Nintendo's surprise Direct Mini. But let's begin with the Uncharted movie. And I think we talked about this a couple episodes ago.
Our boy
the
Tom
Uncharted
Holland.
movie with Spider-Man, Tom Holland playing as young Nathan Drake. Sully is being played by Mark Wahlberg, which is so weird to say because Mark Wahlberg was in the running to play or just Drake, like a grown-up Drake.
Like 10 years ago, yeah.
10 years ago, even like 5 years ago, it was still
right.
He was maybe he likes the series because he was like really involved in the production of like wanting to be involved in the movie, but he's playing Sully, and everyone's up in arms because some photos leaked online because everyone's on set. And he doesn't have a mustache.
This is the opposite problem that Henry Cavill had. He had a mustache, and he didn't need the mustache, and they tried to digitally remove it in Man of Steel, and woof.
Well, let's see if they digitally put it on and see how that.
Yeah, right. So,
well, no. At this point, they wouldn't digitally put it on, right? They would have to like just.
They use some spirit glue and give him like a fake mustache and whatnot. I can only assume if this rumor is true that either he's got another role that he's working on. I mean, I think that's it. I think that's like the only like. Why would you not? He can definitely grow a mustache. There's movies.
Well, that's the number one question. Can he grow a mustache? Have you ever seen
there's
Mark
movies
Wahlberg
where
with
he's
a
had
mustache?
mustaches. Yeah, I think so.
Name one.
I don't know, but it's out
Off the
there.
spot. Name
Don't
one.
put me on the spot.
I can't think of any movie.
Do you want me to go and pull up his IMDb right now?
Yes. I can't think of any movie where he actually wore a mustache. He's always been a baby face. Marky Mark has always been a baby face. I'm sorry.
from like back in the day, yeah. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, I can't think of any movie or TV show or music video where he had a mustache or any facial hair or maybe a little stubble. But Sully doesn't have stubble. I have stubble right now because I cut my beard off 2 weeks ago. But Sully has a full-grown mustache. He could probably grow a beard if he actually let it grow. So it's just kind of weird to see. It's just kind of weird to see him as a young Sully because even a young Sully in the game still felt like an old Sully. So I don't think Mark Wahlberg can grow a mustache.
Google Images would say that you're wrong, Dan. There are thousands of images with him with the mustache.
Those aren't real. Those are fake. It's fake news. Fake news. That's fake.
Oh, boy. Here we go. Here we go. Rated G, your source for conspiracies.
Those stories are fake.
Get them while they're hot.
They're fake. All right. Well, while that's shooting, and we'll wait and see if that movie's good. I think that's supposed to come out at the end of next year, beginning of 2022.
That sounds about right. Given the zombie apocalypse going on right now, it's may have been pushed back a little bit. So that timeline makes sense. I think they can make it happen by then.
Well, we said we said the Boys, the Amazon show, is like Justice League without the Batman.
Mm-hmm.
But let's talk about the Batman.
The Batman?
Yes. The Batman, yeah. We did say like 2 weeks ago that Robert Pattinson, got caught the zombie apocalypse and he had to quarantine for a couple of weeks. Then they stopped production on the Batman. But it looks like the Batman, which is still, I hate the name, I'm sorry. It just sounds stupid saying the Batman.
Okay.
It's back in production. They're back filming.
You say the Flash, though, right?
But he plays Flash. I said Flash.
But what's the name of the movie? The Flash. It's not just called Flash.
All right, so why don't we call it the Spider-Man? Why don't we call it the Spider-Man?
I mean, it works with some words. It doesn't. Like the Hulk, you need it the Hulk. You can't just have a movie called Hulk. I mean, you could, but they don't.
The Batman doesn't work. I'm sorry. It just doesn't work. He's the Batman. Well, why don't you say this is the Superman movie?
This guy. Listen. This could be the worst part of the movie, the title. The movie could be fantastic. So
I
hope hung up on the wrong part.
Okay, so inevitably, if this movie is really good and they make a sequel, the Batman 2?
No, it'll be the Batman, whatever, the Batman Revenge of the Joker or something. I don't know.
Then at that point, you would just call it Batman Revenge of the Joker.
I mean, you could, but they already have the Batman as the moniker to separate it from the 89 version, so you don't get confused.
I won't get confused. Just say this is the 2021 version.
You don't have to, because it's the Batman. It's a completely different name. When you go to IMDb, there's not going to be a little parentheses 2020 or 2021, because you'll know, this is the Pattinson Batman movie.
Okay, see, all right, now you're gonna, all right, we're going off script, but I'm going to stay off script. The Batman sounds dumb. I'm sorry.
All right. If that's what you want to get hung up on, by all means. But
I don't think I'm gonna say this is a working title. I don't think this is the final product. It's gonna be.
It very much is.
It's just gonna be Batman.
Have you not seen the logos for it?
They're gonna take that out. Just like Sonic was changed. Did you not see Sonic, the original Sonic movie?
Oh, I saw it. I saw the trailer.
They're gonna change. They're gonna change this. The marketing team is home because of the zombie apocalypse, and they're just not here to fix it.
You want to make a bet?
I'm sorry, it's not gonna be the.
You want to make a bet?
It just sounds dumb.
You want to make a bet?
No, I don't want.
That's how I know it's not gonna happen. Dan will only make a bet when he knows he can win.
Well, I can't collect. We always have Shake Shack bags. I don't even know if Shake Shack is open.
Well, we could do a dollar amount.
No, you have to Uber Eat. You have to Uber Eat lunch.
Well, I am not going to have to do anything, because if you make that bet, you were going to be wrong. So you will have to Uber Eat me a Shake Shack.
I'm sorry. The Batman just sounds stupid. Okay, you know what? Regardless if they change it or not, the Batman still sounds stupid. I'm sorry.
All right.
Okay. It's the stupid. I'm sorry. It is what it is. So I saw this though. This was interesting. This was announced over the weekend, or at least I saw it over the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Doom 64, which got released when Doom Eternal was released. So I did buy it. I have it on the Switch. Looks like we're going to get a physical release from Limited Run. Pre-orders come up September 25th, and you'll be able to get it for the Switch, which is probably what I'm going to buy it on, and PS4, and I think PC also. But I'm definitely going to pick this up for the Switch. You know what? I may change my mind. I already own it on the Switch. I should just pick it up for PS4.
Yeah. I think they're doing did you say they're doing a special edition with the N64 case, right?
I didn't see that. See that, but I wouldn't put that past them, because
I think they are, because it's like limited run. who's doing that. Yeah. So I don't think there's a PC version. There's no PC version, but the N64 Switch version, right, comes in the N64 box and whatnot. Like, if I can get my hands on that,
special edition. Yeah, the special edition.
I can get my hands on that 100%. Like that is definitely the one to get. Got to get that box.
I think it comes with the N64 box, a cart, the Switch game, behind the scenes booklet, and 2 posters. It looks like. Mm-hmm. So that looks awesome.
That's pretty solid.
And it's only $54, which is a good price.
For the special edition.
For the special edition, yeah.
Wow, that is going to sell out quick. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it. It's going to be one of those gone in 30 seconds type situation.
You're going to be able to get it. Don't worry.
I hope so.
I have faith in you. I
hope so. Well, thank you. You got to give me all that good juju.
So, Nintendo Online they put up new games too. So they announced this as well. I saw this over the weekend. Mm-hmm. They have Donkey Kong Country 2, the Peacekeepers, which I had to look up. I didn't even know what this game was. This is an SNES game. And it looks like just a standard beat 'em up game. So if you like Streets of Rage, this is sort of like in that vein. Mm-hmm. And as a side note, when I see games on Nintendo Online that come out, I got to see what type of game this is and how much the original game costs.
Right.
I looked on eBay and on Lukey Games. So if you're a retro collector, LukeyGames.com, they give you points for every purchase.
There you go. Not a sponsor.
But you can use to redeem free games. Mm-hmm. The Peacekeepers is on average loose. We're talking loose. It's about $50-$60.
Damn, right? That is bad. Squarely in the rare category. Yeah,
not bad. Mm-hmm. I did see somebody online selling it for $15. Mm-hmm. I got to be honest. If you see that, I'm being very wary of that. I don't know if it's real. Okay, so just always be very wary.
Sure. Yeah. So you got to be sure.
You think it's a good deal, and it's a repro cart, and they didn't say it, right? Mm-hmm. So it looked real, but everyone else on eBay is selling it for 50 or more.
Right.
And this one person is selling it for 18, and the pictures look sort of like professional pictures.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Don't trust it.
It's like all those people on like Craigslist and like OfferUp and whatnot who are selling a Xbox One, right? Super cheap with a bunch of games. And then like as soon as you contact them, they end up changing their location, right? From where you are. And they go, yeah, I'm not meeting up in person because of the COVID, and you have to ship it. I can ship it to you, and it's just all sorts of weird, right? They're like, I actually asked somebody. I hate to go off on this tangent, but I actually asked somebody. They were like, oh, I have an Xbox for whatever. I'm like, do you still have the Xbox and the games? They said yes, and they were like, sorry, I'm not here right now. I'd have to ship it to you, and I'm like. So you're out of the state and you carry the Xbox around with you? And they were like, yes, yeah, I do, in like broken English. And I'm like, yeah, okay. All right. We're done here. I literally I need to sell this thing.
Everything with me all the time.
Yeah. I'm like, So be very careful as a PSA from Rated G.
All right. And then Scat from NES.
The most unfortunately named game.
SC, S period, C period, A period, T period.
Yeah, something secret something or other. Yeah.
Yeah, secret something.
Oh, Special Cybernetic Attack Team. It says it right on the cover.
Cybernetic Attack Team. There you go.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Scat is actually a pretty good game. It's a Natsume one, so they make some good stuff.
I think I actually own this game, the NES card.
You may, yeah.
And Super Mario Picross, which I think came out, it was a Japanese game, right?
Mm-hmm. We never got it here. We got it on Game Boy. We never got a Super Nintendo version, so that's kind of cool.
So those are new games coming out online. I could have sworn we just got Nintendo games. We just got like 4 Nintendo games like a month ago. So this is kind of weird because they usually said every 3 months we would get a bunch of new NES.
Oh, well,
that's
games. No. That like timeline has been all out the window because originally they were like, we're going to put a new game or 2 new games up every month.
And then they change it to, every now and then. And it's sort of on schedule is like every 90 days, every 3 months, we got a bunch of games. Mm-hmm. So I could have sworn we just got a bunch of games like Donkey Kong Country like last month or in August. So.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. just adding value to the service. So, I'll take it.
So, Dave, as we always try to start the show but epically fail, what have you been playing?
Well, Dan, I would tell you that I've been playing Super Mario 3D All-Stars, but I have not. I got it last night, kind of late. Didn't get any time to sink my teeth into it. But I have been playing Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2, aka the best game of the century.
Depending on what century
4.
you're living in. Depending on what century you're living in.
Best game of the century, man. Back-to-back best game of the century in my eyes. All right. This game is perfect. It is fantastic. All the little improvements in the game. I mean, I've said it before. I'm still going through it. I'm just about done. I've got almost every level unlocked. I think I'm missing like 1 or 2 secret levels. And, that'll be that. But there's also some secret characters, like Jack Black is in it as the...
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he plays Officer Dick. And they like had him in for mocap and sound recording and all that.
That took a minute. Wait, that took a minute to register.
Yeah, right.
Like super delayed laugh. He plays Officer what?
He plays Officer Dick, right? Because it's a very a game came out in the late '90s, very juvenile humor. Yes.
That's funny.
Yeah. I mean, they had they basically in the first and the second game, they basically had Asia Carrera, the porn star, as an unlockable secret character. So, except they never got her permission to use her likeness. So in like part 2, she was like, "All right, I want to be in the game and I want to get credit for it and this and that." And Activision's like, "All right, we'll make this happen." So she was in the second game too.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
All right. So I've been playing. Well, I have been playing, or at least I put the cart in the system. I've been playing Super Mario 3D All Stars on this race. I got it last night too. And
I had
to put it in the cart because I wanted to redeem the points because I'm going to get those stickers. Damn it! I'm going to get those pins, not stickers, pins. I'm going to get those pins. So I had to redeem those points. I played each game for at least 5 minutes just to sort of get a feel, make sure it worked and see how it looked. Right. I have no nostalgia for any of these games. I didn't play Mario 64 when it first came out.
Same.
I played Mario Sunshine for the first time when we first quarantined. I just had my GameCube and all the GameCubes out.
That's
all the
crazy.
GameCube games out. So I played that for the first time for like maybe an hour or two. That's the one I'm going to go back to. When I go back to this game, that's the one I want to play and talk about it on a Saturday morning retro at some point. Maybe I'll do it at the end of the year.
All right.
And then Mario Galaxy, which I played for the first time this year too, during quarantine. I played it for like more than 10 minutes. I played it for like a half an hour. Didn't like the controls of part 1. Like the controls better in part 2.
Okay.
But don't like the controls overall because I don't want to use the Wii remote, and the nunchuck. I just
don't want to use the waggle tech. No,
I want to have a regular controller in my hand.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they have both options on the Switch. Apparently, you can break off the Kit Kat controllers and you can waggle the thing around if you want, or you can just use the motion control to move around, and like the thumbsticks to make it all happen. So, It looks. I was watching a review on it. I think the Mario Galaxy is probably the most polished and complete version, right? If you play the GameCube version, some of the button prompts are still the GameCube icons, right? So the X and the Y are like the kidney buttons, and they managed to like erase the button names in the voiceovers, right? The little tutorials, but they didn't erase it or change it on the little text pop-ups. And Mario 64 is like still in 4:3. They didn't manage to widescreen it at all. So they get better, right? Like 64 has like it's 720p, which is nice, so everything's like kind of crisp, and they redid some of the textures. Galaxy, they kind of went a little bit further with it. And Super Mario Sunshine, they went a little further. And Galaxy, they blew it out of the water. Galaxy's 1080p, right? 60 frames. It's very smooth. And they redid all the control prompts on there. So they put just a little bit more effort into it. So,
well, also in, if you play Galaxy, right? You have to, wave the Wii remote on the screen to move the star around, so you can
to get all the bits.
Yeah, to do that on the Switch, I mean, you have to actually use the touch screen.
Oh.
You have to use your finger, so you have to take your hands away with the controls and use your finger. So I don't know how it works if you take the Joy-Cons off, because I'm never going to do that. I never do that. I only do that for party games, and I did that one time with you at your house.
Oh, for yeah.
That was it. That was the only time I ever did that.
1-2 Switch. That's right.
I think I ever did that.
That's one of the only times I've ever played that game too. Well worth my $40. You're welcome, Nintendo.
No. So, I'm definitely get back into that. I've been playing off and on still Watch Dogs. I think I have another hour or two left. I think I think I'm about to rage quit.
Oh my God, Dan.
There's a point in the game where you have to stop a vehicle, okay? Towards the end of the game, like you have to stop a vehicle, which is not easy, by the way, to stop a vehicle. You have to stop it because you're chasing a vehicle. You have to stop it, take them down, and then you have to run from the cops. Okay, and I mean, all the cops are converging on you. And it's like it's
this is the final mission, or close to the final mission?
No. It's not the final mission. I mean, again, I got I'm like maybe 2 hours before the end. Okay, 1 or 2 hours. No, I'm about 2 hours before I end it. Right, so I'm right there at the cusp of ending this game, and this one little section is just I want to rage quit. I'm like, I'm done. I'm done with this. I've been so done. The game actually froze in the middle of it, and I was like, I'm done.
Oh, shoot.
So I may not finish Watch Dogs just because boycotting this one little section I think is irrelevant.
Come on now. You're almost at the finish line, man. You got to go that last mile.
I'm sour. I'm sorry. I'm sour.
I can hear it in your voice.
I hate this section.
I can hear it in your voice.
I hate this section. Or maybe I'll come back to it at some point when I calm down. But I just rage quit maybe like an hour ago, so it's still fresh in my mind.
All right.
Why don't we take a break? When we come back, we get into the top gaming news of last week.
Hey, this is Matt Adler, freelance journalist for IGN, and you're listening to Rated G for Gamers podcast.
And we're back. Let's get into it. Let's get into the top gaming news of last week, and we have to start. We finally know all the cards are on the table. Sony had a PS5 event, and they announced the price, and they announced the release date. Now, PS5 and the PS5 Digital Edition will be released November 12th, 2 days after the Series X release.
All right, so that's a Tuesday for Xbox, and then a Thursday for Sony.
They just couldn't do it one more day. Come on, Friday the 13th. We will always remember that. Friday the 13th.
Do not, even if you're not superstitious, there are people who are superstitious, and there are people who will not buy the console because they think it's haunted. Trust me.
I spit in the face of superstition. Just get the console. Friday the Okay, let me ask you a question. Where does the bad luck in Friday the 13th come from? Like, is it the movie? Because what if the movie
No. The movie came way after they had that superstition of Friday the 13th. I can't tell you. I mean, I'm sure it was some weird old European.
What's bad about the number 13? Because some buildings in New York City don't even have a 13th
most buildings
floor.
Everywhere don't have a 13th floor. Yeah.
Well, I can't speak for everywhere because I haven't been everywhere, but I know for a fact, and like in my building, right, it's the 12th floor.
And then the 14th.
And it's like not even a 14th. There is a 13th floor, but it's like
they don't call it
13.
That.
It's like
right.
It's like a lobby floor or something like that, like the storage floor or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't been in the building in 5 months, so excuse me if I don't remember.
Yeah, my old building was the same way. Yeah.
Which is so weird. Okay.
So they don't even want to chance
it'd be
it.
Cool.
They don't want to chat. No.
Yeah.
No. Look, if they're not gonna, if a construction company which is built on like science and math, right? If they're not gonna put in a 13th floor because they're like, this is bad luck, Sony's not gonna release their console on Friday the 13th. You just.
I thought that would have been cool.
I wouldn't have cared. I would.
We will always remember it. We would always remember
the 13th.
Right?
I know. Probably. I wonder if any other consoles have ever come out on Friday the 13th. I'm curious of that. We'll have to look it up for next show.
Probably not. So the pricing is in. Everyone thought it was going to be more expensive. It's going to be $600, $700. No. The regular edition with the disc drive will be $499, and the discless drive will be $399. I called it. I was right. It will be $100 cheaper, right? And obviously, the marketing behind it will be, the Xbox Series S is a lower spec model of that Series X, where the PlayStation version, it's the same power, it's just discless. And that's why it's $100 less.
So you're paying $100 for a $10 to $20 disc drive. That granted it plays Blu-ray 4K HD DVDs. Sure, but it's still like a $20 part. So these are all around. Xbox and PlayStation are very aggressively priced. They are
Sony is definitely losing money.
Yeah.
Sony is definitely taking a hit on the discless version.
Right.
100%.
Right. So they're making a little bit of that up on the disc version, but even that is going to be a little bit of a hit. But the idea here, and it's been the idea since the beginning of video games, more or less, is to get the consumer, get the device, get the unit into their household, and then you can start advertising all this stuff to them. Well, you need some games, right? Oh, you need controllers, right?
Well, software is king. That's
right. Software and accessories too. Like, there's a huge markup on that stuff. And now, you have like a Games Pass for Microsoft, right? They're like a thing, so they can be like, hey, $15 a month. It costs us just about nothing, right? And you get all these games, and we make a profit month after month, whether you use it or not. So. It's a good way, and they can only do that if the console's in the household.
But this wasn't just an event to release the price and a release date. This was like a total E3 style event, because
this is a full-on presentation.
I told you this was going to be. It said it was going to be about 45 minutes long. That means they're going to show games, and I said they have to show. It's going to be 45 minutes long. They can't show me games I already know about. They got to show me something brand new. They're gonna have to. They could, but they wouldn't. They're gonna show you something brand new, right? Where the Xbox event was sort of like 10 minutes of, this is what the Series S is, and this is what the prices are, and we're gonna release it.
Well, yeah, because they had all their game releases already, Or
they had all their game delays. You mean?
Yeah.
So they started off strong. We got Final Fantasy XVI revealed. PlayStation 5 it's console exclusive.
Right.
Final Fantasy 16. That's crazy. When they first showed the trailer, I thought this was like The Witcher 3 being ported to PlayStation 5. But no, it was brand new.
I could kind of see that, yeah. So it's got like
we talked about it a few months ago. Like, do you think they're going to reveal Final Fantasy 16? And you said, no, it's too soon. They're going to do Final Fantasy 7 Remake Part 2. Right?
Maybe I did, yeah. But I know, like, right before the thing, there was like rumors of like Final Fantasy 16, and then Sony's like, "Yep, here it is." So it's it's weird because 7.
That was awesome. I thought you'd be doing a backflip off the roof or something.
I am very much doing a backflip over the roof. We didn't. Get
I sound more excited than you. That's crazy. Final Fantasy 16. You know how long it took them to get Final Fantasy 15 out?
15 was a while. This is technically only like 4 years after Final Fantasy 15, which I think was 2016. They're going back to the fantasy roots. It is a Final Fantasy 14 style, where they have more like humanistic proportions. Obviously, they're still going to have the chocobos and the weird Moogles and all that stuff. It's going to be like a high fantasy type game. So those are the Final Fantasies I like more than, the futuristic style ones. 7, 8, especially 15, where you're driving around in a Lexus. I mean, Christ. It's still good. Trust me, the game was still good.
Talk about marketing.
Yeah, I know. Marketing. I know. So, yeah, that was a great way to kick it off. Brand new game, brand new trailer.
Well, you know what that means, though, right? You know what that means. So during the reveal of PS5, they showed Final Fantasy XVI. This game will be out as soon as PS6 is released.
Nah, I sure hope not. No, I think it's going to be like next year, right?
No, they had nothing on a date, which was weird. And we'll talk about release dates for games a little bit later in the show. They didn't really have any release dates for any of the games in the presentation. We got that sort of in tweets after the show, which I thought was sort of just a total miss for Sony. Like, they should have had some of these release dates in the presentation, and people would have went a little bit more crazier. But we'll talk about that a little bit later.
I think, and I guess this kind of ties into the end card for the Final Fantasy XVI, but I think they tried to scramble to get this presentation out because Microsoft already came out of the gate and they're like, well, cat's out of the bag. Here's our presentation. And then Sony's like, we got one too. So I think there may have been some we don't have any time to re-edit this. Like, this is what it is. We're going to go ahead and put this out. Because at the end of the Final Fantasy thing, they specifically said PlayStation console exclusive. And then in small type at the bottom, they said also coming to PC. Right? And I was like, oh, okay. So it's interesting. They had
they retracted, and they said they retracted the PC part right after the show. And that was like an accident, a mistake. Right. I guess the PC version wasn't supposed to be announced yet.
Right. But it definitely is coming because the end card said console exclusive. They made it a point to say that, unless they messed up on two fronts, because then they just could have said PlayStation exclusive, right? And it's not on anything else. But I think it is coming to PC. Yeah,
it's definitely a console exclusive because just like all presentations, if the game's coming somewhere else, Nintendo or Xbox would release the trailer on their YouTube page as well.
Oh yeah.
Say, hey, it's coming here too.
Yeah.
Right. Just like they did with Devil May Cry 5, the special edition.
Right.
Which is coming out digitally. They made it a point to say digital release. So I don't think this is going to be a physical release, at least at launch, because it's going to launch with the PlayStation 5 November 12th, and then soon after that was announced, Xbox sort of had a trailer on their YouTube page. It said, no, it's coming to Xbox Series X November 12th as well. So it's coming to both consoles.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird that they're not going to get a physical release, or at least maybe we'll get a physical release at a later date. I put money on that. We'll get a physical release of the special edition 100%. On a later date.
Like, it's Capcom. They are a big studio, and they put the first one out.
It's just not ready. It's just not ready yet. So they wanted to say that's why they made it very clear. Physical, digital release.
Only for now. Yeah.
For now, yeah. So that was cool. We got actual gameplay of Spider-Man Miles Morales, right? That was awesome. And just like in Marvel style, Marvel video game style, we got a bridge sequence.
They're the best.
With the bridge,
they're high action. It's very, very tense. It's what you want. It's what you want in an opening set piece for a video game, for sure.
So Miles Morales is in Harlem. And there are a lot of bad guys. I don't know any of these bad guys. I didn't research who the villain is, who the main the villain is.
Yeah,
I
didn't know them either. They seem like B and C tier villains.
But I will say, the one thing I do like about Miles Morales is he not only has sort of the same most of the same abilities as regular Spider-Man Peter Parker, but he sort of has like other abilities like this electrical shock, right? So I think that's pretty cool. I'll be interested to see how they implement that.
Yeah.
They have two versions coming out. They have the regular version, which is $50.
Yep.
So this is definitely not on the same tier as the original Marvel Spider-Man, which came out at $60, but now games are $70.
Mm-hmm. Some of them, yeah. Some of them
you can get the deluxe edition that just has the full remastered Marvel Spider-Man game from last gen.
Mm-hmm.
And if you already own Marvel Spider-Man, you get that free upgrade to PlayStation 5. They announced that on their Twitter page,
which is very nice. Which is very nice. Hey, Remedy, take note. This is how you do the next gen upgrade. All right, that's how you do it.
Well, it's easy when you have the backing of a first party.
I mean, fair enough. They have all the Sony money. Yeah, they have all the Sony money.
There's Sony.
Yeah, that is a fair point.
And remember, there was, I want to say, earlier this year, there were rumors of Sony buying Remedy, and if they bought Remedy, guaranteed Control would have had a free upgrade, guaranteed.
Mm-hmm.
And that actually still may happen. You never know. Keep an eye out on that.
Mm-hmm.
So we got. I mean, talk about new games. We got that. That was the Final Fantasy 16 was big. Spider-Man, Devil May Cry. But I thought I was going batshit crazy over this because I'm a huge Harry Potter fan, and we got the long-awaited, rumored Harry Potter RPG game. That's not named Harry Potter. It's just called Hogwarts Legacy.
Mm-hmm. It looked pretty
awesome.
cool. It looked pretty cool. It looked kind of visually nice. It is not set in the modern world. There is no Harry Potter. He is not even a twinkle in his father's eye.
That's why it's not called Harry Potter, right? And I mean, you say twinkle in his father's eye. You mean his father wasn't a twinkle in his grandfather's eye? Because this takes place 100 years before Harry Potter even existed.
Right. So this is like early 19th century, which I think is like kind of cool. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna jump into the game, but it definitely looked pretty cool, and it was a new trailer. It was this was kind of like, oh my god, like here's something brand new, right? It is I think it's PC, Xbox, and PlayStation in this case, right? So it is going to be like cross compatible.
Everything but the Switch and Stadia so far.
Right. Which we'll see how that goes. Maybe for
like a magical RPG, this would have been perfect Stadia game.
Yeah.
Like if I was Stadia, I would have put the money into having this. This would have made me. I'm not gonna lie. If Stadia wanted to get me on board,
Hogwarts is where it's at. Well, I think a lot of people were going to be like, "Oh my god, I have to get a PS5 to play this or an Xbox to play this." So I think it's going to be a bit of a system seller. Like Harry Potter is a huge franchise.
Well, I will say this. They made it. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but they did make it known that J.K. Rowling isn't involved in this game, right? For all the controversy, that she's been in recent months.
She's had some Twitter drama. We can say that.
I wonder if that's why they don't. I wonder if that's why they're not calling it Harry Potter. If that has anything to do with the licensing, right? With dealing with her.
Maybe.
Right? Because why wouldn't they call it? Why wouldn't they call it Harry Potter's Hogwarts Legacy, right? Like the name Harry Potter holds so much weight and name recognition.
Do they?
So maybe they took the name Harry Potter out. So because they have this game has nothing to do with J.K. Rowling. She has no involvement in it, I should say. So that's an interesting question right there.
The new movies are like Fantastic Beasts. Right, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, and Fantastic Beasts, the Crimes of the Grindelwald. So, I think there's precedent for this. I don't think it's that, because it's just there is no Harry Potter, right? Harry Potter was the through line for all those books. Like he was the guy, he was the one who started off as the little kid and turned into the hero by the end of the movie. So. I don't. Maybe they're trying to do some distancing there, right? But I think it may be just that, like, because he's not involved with it. It'd be kind of weird to call it Harry Potter, whatever. Because you may think like, oh, I can play as Harry Potter, but
yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that's true. We got an awesome sequence for Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, right? Like just seeing that whole airport sequence when you're chasing an airplane and you're trying to snipe the guy. Right, yeah. And you finally blow up the airplane. I'm all in. Finally, a Black Ops game with a campaign.
Right.
So I'm all in. I want to buy that game.
Yeah, super
definitely
like
getting
fresh.
that game day one.
super fresh. Like I don't think I've seen a game that had something that high energy for like a long while. So yeah, I think I may be in on this too. I'm all in. I'm hopefully I'll have my my tradition can go back to normal again. Right? Oh right.
Beat it over the Turkey Day holiday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We got another extended trailer, Resident Evil 8 Village.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't really get me hyped for it. I mean, I'm not.
Well, you're not a horror guy.
Evil, spooky games.
Yeah.
I'm not a horror guy.
Not your
werewolves, not zombies. So I'm kind of curious on how this is going to work. Like, you know, zombies are going to pop up at some point, right?
Oh, there has to be a T virus or something.
Game. Yeah. Well, the T virus mutated and turned everybody into werewolves, but it has to be like a zombie somewhere at some point.
Right.
So not my jam.
Mm-hmm.
All you. Right,
yeah.
I refer to
trust
you
me.
when it comes to these Resident Evil trailers. Did it get you more hype?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we didn't get gameplay, but we got a little bit more into the backstory a little bit. There was some mention of Chris Redfield. We know Ethan, the protagonist of 7, is going to be in 8. I think you play as Ethan in this case. Spoilers: Chris was in the end of Resident Evil 7. So
whoa!
Yeah, I said it.
Whoa.
I said it. That's all. I'm not saying in what capacity.
Okay.
Not saying in what capacity.
You gotta give some heads up that you're about to spoil a game that only came out 3 years ago. You always get on me for spoiling games that were like 9 years old.
You're right. You know what? I'll see if I can go back and splice in a spoiler warning. Spoiler warning. No, you're right. You're 100% right.
The one time I get no. Don't take my shine away, but don't take my shine away.
Go ahead.
This is the one time I get to get on you. Okay, you got mad at me for spoiling a game that was like 9 years old. Not even.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, 9 years old. Well, I don't know about that. What game?
Well, The Last of Us.
Oh, well, because I haven't played it. That's why. Because I didn't play it at the time. That's why I was like, wait.
I didn't beat 7.
You're never gonna beat it though. You hate those games.
Chris is in a game. Chris is at the end. Thank you for spoiling it.
Okay, I didn't tell you anything about what capacity or whatever. Get out of here. And it's a game I know you're not going to play. I was on the cusp of playing The Last of Us, so get out of here.
All right. Well, I had to get that out. Fair enough. You always get on me.
Fair enough.
All right.
Fair enough.
But I got to say, I'm not so excited for this game, but it is a launch game, and that's Demon Souls Remastered or Remake. The Demon Souls game. So, remade by Blue Point. They do a fantastic job. Probably not going to pick this up day one. This is probably going to be a bargain bin for me 2 years from now, where it's just going to be like, hey, Demon Souls, just like Bloodborne. Bloodborne's like $10.
Oh my god, I can't even beat the first boss. I played it a couple of times, can't even beat the first boss. So,
what?
I need to go back and try to play that game.
But they had a drop the mic moment at the end. They said they had one more thing, and I was super excited.
They did the Apple thing.
Well, they not only did the Apple thing, they did the Nintendo thing when Nintendo just showed Metroid Prime 4 logo.
Oh yeah,
in development.
Yeah.
We got a God of War symbol in Kratos talking, and we know it was a sort of a teaser trailer. We know that God of War Ragnarok coming next. That's kind of soon. Like next year, 2021. I would say holiday 2021, right?
Sure. That would be like 3 years, right? Came out in 2018. Well, actually, a little more than 3 years, right? Because it came out in like April. That is going to be a holiday launch.
Yeah.
Which
I believe it'll be. I think it's too early for it to be an April launch.
Of course, because there's not even an actual trailer out that just like a hype trailer. This is like a logo. Yeah, not enough.
I think at E3 or E3 time around then, because we don't know if they're going to be at E3. We don't even know if there's going to be an E3.
Yeah.
We're still in a zombie apocalypse. They're going to have a state of play, like the big event, and it'll be like God of War Ragnarok. Obviously, it'll have some of the same assets and stuff. And it'll be out there it'll be the big October, September, November release for the game, right? So I can't look at that. Was definitely a drop the mic moment for me. I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah. Because they didn't have any DLC for the first one, which was a little curious.
Oh, that's right.
And
right.
you're thinking like, well, there's all these other worlds he could go to, all these other gods he could fight. People wanted more story with Kratos and his son Atreus is like, make it happen. And they're like, nope, we're going to save it for a new game. So that's where all of that went.
Well, my first reaction was when they said 2021, I said to myself, I didn't know, is this like a Spider-Man Miles Morales thing where it's like sort of the standalone DLC that's just coming out early so they can drum up hype, or is this going to be the actual big set piece sequel to the original game, right? Mm-hmm. But Ragnarok means like the end of the gods, right, in Norse mythology. Right. So I'm gonna assume that this means this is like the big full-fledged sequel that we wanted.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So not all was good after the PlayStation event. They did drop some of the bad news in an interview on Twitter. I think it was on Twitter, or it could have been an interview. They confirmed that the PS5 will have 99.9% backwards compatibility with the PS4.
Mm-hmm. Which is more than they originally stated.
That is more than originally stated.
Yeah, because they said like the first 100 games. Yeah, or the top 100.
Well, they said at the time, as of right now, the first top 100 games are compatible with the PS5.
All right.
And then later on, they confirmed that most of the PS4 games will be backwards compatible. And now they're saying 99% of those games will be compatible because they can't go 100. There'll always be glitches. There'll be that one random
something's
game
not going to play properly.
Released by limited run that doesn't work. But But they did confirm that there will be 0 backwards compatibility with the PS3, PS2, and OG PlayStation.
Yeah, not surprising. PlayStation 3, the most not surprising. Completely different architecture. Very hard to emulate that because you would have to do emulation or kind of redo it from the ground up, which they have done with like The Last of Us Remastered and the God of War collection and whatnot. Like they made some stuff work on the x86 architecture of the PS4, but it's tough, And then you look at PS2 and PS1; they're now older architecture, right? So you'd have to like put chips on there to emulate that. That costs a lot of money, right? To have like hardware emulation. So I guess they decided it's in their best interest to handle the most current previous generation and leave all the other stuff for, we're probably going to release some of these games. You can play Crash Bandicoot you can download a digital copy, which we've patched to work with the PS5 now, right? Which they've done with like the PS4. So you'll be able to like piecemeal stuff and this and that. So there's that.
I will say this. Mm-hmm. I'll say this. Microsoft at its core is a software company, right? Mm-hmm. So the one thing they can do really well, better than anybody else, is software. That's why Xbox Live is so much seamless experience. So much better.
It's the best. It's the best online experience for consoles.
It is the best. Better than Nintendo. Better than Sony, hands down. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I give them that. And their UI is always better for the most part than anybody else's, especially Nintendo. Especially Nintendo. So they're a software company. So doing the backwards compatibility makes sense for them. That's why it's seamless, because this is what they do best. Where Sony, historically, for as long as Sony's been around, they've been more of a hardware company where they make the more sleek designs of things. Like especially with their Walkmans and their Discmans from back in the day. I mean, Steve Jobs famously said, when he took over Apple again, he wanted to make the designs more sleek, more like Sony, because he was inspired by Sony products as far as design wise. So, that's why PlayStations have always been, they've always looked a lot better than any other system compared to Xbox.
Yeah, I will 100% give Sony that. They are fantastic when it comes to product development. The OG Xbox, terrible. 360 was good, and I did like the Xbox OG beta machine, but Sony's always come to the table. PS2 I thought was great. PlayStation 1 is, oh my God, it's iconic, iconic design. But yeah, I mean, I think you're kind of right. And it is a win in Microsoft's court, right? At the end of the day, if you wanted me to choose between a pretty looking box or near complete compatibility, I would take the near complete compatibility because that system,
I'll take the pretty looking box.
That system is just going to go into my entertainment shelf. The door is going to close, and I'm never going to see it. Only when I go in to change the disc. That's it. So
there you go.
Fine.
It's
fine.
My entertainment system is nice and open, so we can breathe. The vent can breathe. I want to have it on top. I want it to look nice. I don't want it to look like a tower PC.
I think that's great
under your desk, your desk, where no one would see it.
Nah, it doesn't look that bad. I mean, it's got a very boxy shape to it for sure.
No, I'm not a fan of the look, especially the Xbox Series S. It looks like it has a big giant zit or speaker in the middle of it.
People are calling it a cheese grater online too.
There you go, the cheese grater system. I'm not a fan of that. I digress. But Sony may not have backwards compatibility with its older systems. However, if you buy a PS5 and you have PlayStation Plus, you will automatically get some of the greatest hits from the PS4, automatic, digitally, to your disposal, day one. Games like God of War, like we just talked about, they have a sequel coming out. Bloodborne, game I don't really care about. First party games too. Uncharted 4, Ratchet and Clank, Days Gone, Until Dawn, right? The Last of Us.
Yeah, good stuff. Like
you get stuff. But you get The Last Guardian. But you get some third party games like Monster Hunter Worlds, which was a no brainer. Right, it was like the best selling Capcom game of all time. Fallout 4, Mortal Kombat X. That would have been interesting if Microsoft would have purchased NetherRealm and owned Mortal Kombat. Would Mortal Kombat X be on this list? Right?
No. Well, maybe, because I think it was a pre-existing property that was on both consoles, so they may have been able to work that out.
Yeah. Battlefield 1, which was surprising. Persona 5, and the aforementioned Resident Evil 7 Biohazard.
Yeah, there is a hell of a ton of good stuff on this list. Good to see Sony.
And Batman Arkham Knight. Not bad, too, that's on there.
Yeah. Good to see Sony entering the ring here. I can only assume that this list is going to grow. And if it does grow, it's going to modify what PlayStation Plus is as a thing, just like Microsoft is doing with their service, right? They're really trying to get everybody into Games Pass, right? Like you can't buy a year membership of Xbox Live Gold, right? That's like not a thing now. So they're like, I think they're trying to wean people off of that and get them on this games as a service type situation. So
they want me to buy Games Pass Ultimate. That's what they want.
Yeah. They want you to spend X amount of dollars on nothing, technically, right? I mean, yes, you get digital games you can play and this and that, but like if you don't use it, there's nothing there, and there's no physical component to it. So,
all right. So the PS5, all the cards are on the table. PlayStation's coming out November 12th. Now everyone's going to compare the first year of what we know, PlayStation games coming out compared to PS4, and it looks a hell of a lot better. 100% better.
If this is the final list, it looks good.
I'm going to name some games that came out. I'm not going to name all of them. I'm going to name a few games that came out in the first year from launch from one holiday to the next holiday season when the PS4 came out in 2013 and 2014. You had games like The Last of Us Remastered, which was just a port of the original game from the PS3. Resogun, which was a fantastic shooter, still needs a physical.
Really? They haven't done that yet?
If you're listening.
Right.
No, it's only digital.
Wow.
The Knack, the original Knack.
Oh, Knack, baby.
Which started it all.
Knack, baby. Where's the Knack 3? We need it.
Well, I'll get into what took its place. Killzone Shadowfall, which was fantastic. I actually made it to the last level and just forgot about it, to be honest.
Oh my God, Dad. You got to go back. The game is beautiful.
I still have my save. It's one of the 5 games that actually uses the gamepad on the DualShock 4.
Oh, yeah.
The infamous Second Son and Infamous First Light. Infamous First Light was the standalone DLC. Better game. Just saying. And Drive Club, which had a whole bunch of issues.
Yeah.
So that's the PS4's a couple of games from PS4 first year. Let's look at what's coming out for the PS5 first year. Demon Souls launch game. God of War Ragnarok slated for 2021. I think it's going to be holiday. Gran Turismo 7. Okay. Horizon Forbidden West is it's slated for a 2021 release, which is crazy. That could be another holiday release. This could be September, and then God of War could be November. Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales and Marvel Spider-Man Remastered. I think those are both going to be launch games or in the launch window. Same thing with Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart is going to be in the launch window. And Sackboy, A Big Adventure, is actually a launch game. It's coming out the same day, November 12th.
Which I think is the game that you were going to mention is the knack replacement in this case.
That is the knack replacement. That is it's inspired by the Little Big Planet series, right?
Yep.
I a little game that we play on the Saturday Morning Retro Show is remaster, remake, or recycle, right? So this is Sackboy would be sort of a recycle, where they take an idea from an existing property and do something totally different with it.
Yeah.
So I'm all for it because it's it looks like a tough platformer, and I love platformer. That's my favorite. That's one of my favorite genres.
Yeah.
So I'm all in on that.
So this is speculative, right? So all this stuff is like tentative 2021 launches, right? And this would be from launch, full year out. I guess they're kind of saying December to December, basically. In this scenario.
100%. Well, I'm just as a side note, I'll let you finish. I 100% don't believe God of War and Horizon will be out the same year. One of those games will be delayed into.
I think a handful of these games are going to be delayed. To be honest, but as it stands, it looks amazing. Like this is like pretty solid. Most of these games are. Most of these games are
God of War.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I mean, like most of these games are built on pre-existing properties, with the exception of Destruction All-Stars and Returnal. Everything else has kind of like a built-in base. They have fans that love these series. They're going to do really well. Hopefully, they come out within the next year, because that'll like take us through to the holidays, right? Not to mention all the other stuff that comes out. Right, all the other like cross-platform games and all the other exclusive stuff that's going to fall out and come out in the beginning of the year for Christmas too, and then also like the E3 bomb drops. I think it's going to be a good year. I think it's going to be a good year for games.
Well, look, Cyberpunk comes out a week after the new consoles come out.
Yeah,
like
baby.
Following week, Cyberpunk.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yep.
So, all right, let's shift gears. Let's talk about Nintendo. They sort of stealth dropped Nintendo Direct Mini Partner Showcase.
Yep.
And I got to say, I've been tough. I've been down in their partner showcases. This is
have you, Dan? I don't think
I've been a little down. I've been a little down on their partner showcases. This is the best partner showcase they've showed so far. They could have just stopped with the other two and just put them all together. Okay, that's what I say.
It'd be like this massive, 10-hour epic. You can't have a presentation be more than 2 hours. No one's going to sit through it.
First of all, the partner showcase is 10 minutes long. They could have put it together and made it 25 all together. It would have been better. It would have been so much better because this one was really beefier. All right. They started out with Monster Hunter Rise, which is a brand new Monster Hunter game exclusive for the Switch. I'm not the biggest Monster Hunter fan, but I'm all in. I want to buy it. I want to try it out. They announced not one, but two Monster Hunter games. Okay, the second one was Monster Hunter Stories 2: Wings of Ruin, which is more of an RPG Monster Hunter game. The first one came out on 3DS. So that one, not so much. I'm not interested in that so much at all. I definitely want to check out Monster Hunter Rise.
I am surprisingly in the same boat as you for Stories 2, but I have the same sentiment about Rise. I've never gotten into Monster Hunter, but it always seems cool. It's just, I don't know. There's always something else that I want to play. I don't know what it is.
Well, maybe that something else could be Disgaea 6, Defiance of Destiny. Only on Switch. It's exclusive to Switch, coming out in the summer of 2021.
Yeah, definitely a good fit. Never played any of these Disgaea games, funny enough, even though I own a hell of a ton of them now. Yeah, they're severely long. They are very long games. Disgaea is not like, even for like RPG, right? For RPG standards, it's like a 60-hour plus game.
Is it? I was about to say, is it like Persona 5 like long?
It's more than Persona 5 in some ways. Like, especially if you want to like do all the side quests and all that. It's just that's too much. It's too much. I mean, I'm still going to get it.
They showed off Sniper.
Sorry, go ahead.
Of course you are. You are.
Yeah.
Well, they showed off Sniper Elite 4, which was okay.
Looked good.
Which is okay. It looked good.
Yeah.
It looked good. And they had their own mic drop moment.
One more thing.
They announced Ori and the Will of the Wisp, which was the second game in the series that came out. It was supposed to be a Microsoft Xbox exclusive. It came out for the Xbox One right before quarantine, like in March, April.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
I got the special. Not April. I'm sorry. It came out in either February or March because I went to Best Buy and I got the special edition. So it looks. I mean, everyone is saying that Microsoft lied and said there'll be no more Xbox games coming to the Switch, or even they said
no more Xbox.
Everyone thinks this is
games, yeah.
Well, there were no first party games that released on the Switch. Cuphead and Ori aren't first party games. These are independent studios that they sort of made a deal with, right? Just like Sony makes a deal and gets Persona 4 or all the Persona games on Sony, right? Or Detroit Become Human, even though that deal expired, and they said they want to put out the games on all systems now. So I was thinking about getting Ori, right? Even though I already own the special edition for the Xbox. They had another special edition physical release on the Switch, which is kind of pricey and sold out in like 2 seconds.
Yeah, $150 some odd dollars. It looked nice, had a nice package, but it didn't seem like there was a lot in. You got the 2 games, sure, but the extra stuff wasn't. A couple of cards, maybe. Yeah, it seemed a little light. I gotta tell you, it seemed a little light.
Yeah, it wasn't. I would have bought it. I would have
bought it too. Trust me, but yeah.
If it goes back on, if I see it on sale, I'm definitely pick it up. So
who put it out? Do you know? You remember who put out the special edition? Was it them specifically?
I think it was them. It wasn't. I didn't think it was anybody else. It definitely wasn't like a limited run type of thing. I didn't see that.
Okay.
All right. We got more Switch Pro rumors. This is heating up now. Okay. We talked about it before. We talked about it all year. Where there were rumors of a beefier Switch being released. Right. They were. I think we talked about it last week where Nintendo sort of said. They told other studios to make their Switch games 4K ready. Right now, there's another. Now this just solidified it that this article from IGN, Nintendo confirms it has new hardware planned, which is a no-brainer. The Switch has been out for 4 years, so of course, they usually do. Well, they usually do R&D on a new system 2 years out, right? Like everybody does it, you know. I mean, 2 years from now, in the year 2022, 2023, you know, Sony and Xbox are going to be thinking about the PS6 and the next Xbox Series, whatever.
Oh, yeah. Because it takes forever to develop, and there's a lot of prototyping and kind of figuring things out. What do we want to do? How do we want to build it? And yeah, I mean, it takes a while. It takes a while to put a new console out.
So the Switch will be what? Next year, at the end of next year, will probably be year 5, right? It'll be almost, in the March 2022 will be year 5. If they don't put out a Switch Pro, like an incremental upgrade next year at some point, right? Then you might as well just forget it and work on whatever the next console is. Because I think after that point, the Switch has like another year or two to still be in its prime.
Yeah.
I mean, look, they have no reason to move on for the Switch right now because the Switch had like the best selling August of all time of any system. It outsold what the Wii did in August of 2008.
Right. Well, part of that's because of the pandemic. Everyone's staying indoors. They need stuff to play, and the Switch has the goods. It's got Animal Crossing and Mario Kart, and Zelda and Odyssey, like, all these like great games that you can just spend a ton of time playing, So they're in like a pretty good position. They were always in a pretty good position because the Switch has always been doing well and, selling well. One of the best selling consoles, I think. They're getting up there to the Wii, in terms of sales numbers. But, yeah, I mean, I think you're right. There comes a point where they're like, all right, it's the end of the cycle. We need to put something else out. The only thing I'll say to that is that Nintendo did say they want to support the Switch for like 10 years, right? So like, how do you do that and then put a new console out? All right.
Just because you have, the Sony just stopped, repairing PS2s like earlier this year, late last year.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So just because you have a new console out, let's say in 2024, 23, the Switch is at its like year 7, year 8, and you have a brand new console out, Nintendo, whatever, you can still support the Switch for another 2 years. Nintendo was supporting the Nintendo was supporting the 3DS. All right.
They still are. They're still supporting the 3DS.
We got Luigi's Mansion.
Yeah.
We got Luigi's Mansion. The first one ported to a 3DS, and we still had the Switch.
Yeah, you're right. We had that Metroid game 2 years ago, right?
Metroid Samus Returns,
right? And those are AAA portable titles, right? Coming straight from Nintendo. So they're like, hey, we're still going to support this. We're going to have 2 systems. So yeah, I guess you could do that with the Switch, right? Maybe that replaces the 3DS.
Well, with that said, the 3DS, Nintendo has supported it, and they supported it for 9 years. But it looks like it's finally come to an end as Nintendo has ended production.
Then the Nintendo Switch, the OG model, will be the new 3DS. That almost confirms it in that case. That almost confirms it. And they have their 2 price tiers.
Well, it makes sense because, I'm just saying it makes sense to end production now. You want to put everything that you have into the Switch, and you don't want to worry about the 3DS, which again has great fan base, right? Like it has a great install base right now. You're not going to put any new games out for it, but you'll still continue to support it as far as like fixing it and stuff like that. But they're not producing any new ones.
Well, sure. So the other component to that too is that Nintendo has their 2 price points. They have the full on Kit Kat.
Well, the Switch Lite kills the 3DS.
Well, right. Like, that has the lower price point, right? You get some less features. You can't break the sticks off like you can on the $300 version. So there you go. You have $200 thing that's a home system and like a portable system. So that's 2 birds, 1 stone. And then the $300 more advanced model that you can dock and play in multiplayer mode and all that. So yeah. I think that kind of satisfies their 2-tier situation, right? And that would even work.
The only
like going into the next, if it's a Switch 2 or whatever else it is, you could still have the regular Switch as like the lower price point.
Well, the only issue they have is the 3DS was their way of making special editions, and we haven't really got a lot of special edition Switch Lites, right? Mm-hmm. Where I have, surprisingly enough, I have a lot of 3D 2DSs, special editions. I have the SNES version, the NES version, Samus Returns version, the Pokeball version, right? Like the Hyrule Shield version. The only one I don't have that I really want is the Pokemon, the Pikachu one. I have a lot of good memories. 3DS. I own a lot of 3DS/2DS/DS, but the ones that not the clamshell. But I have those 2 special editions with those too, with Mario Maker and Majora's Mask on them. So I really, I got to give it up to the 3DS family.
Right.
It's been 9 years. I think they could have did it for 1 more year. Because I hate it when things end at 9. Just go 10. I'm sorry. I hate when TV shows end at 9.
Nice even number, right?
10. You could do one more. You could do one more, right? You could do one more. Just do one more season, 5 episodes. Come on. Right? Nintendo, you could have supported it a little bit longer. Do, 2021 a little bit, right? End production in 2021 so we could say 10 years. So that's all I'm saying. But, rest in peace to the 3DS family. I definitely want to get more games. I don't have as many games as I would like for the 3DS. Right?
Yeah, man. Get them now because everyone's going to be fire selling them, right? Nobody everyone's switching over to the Switch.
True. This is the time. If you're a collector, this is the time to buy them because they're not, they're probably not going to go up in price for another 3, 4, or 5 years.
Right, DS and 3DS.
Get nostalgic for it.
Yeah, some of the DS games are going up a little bit, but I think the DS, 3DS are kind of in the same boat. The cartridges are almost exactly the same. The boxes are almost exactly the same. So, before like the secondhand market like skyrockets these games, get all those like Pokemon and Mario games and Metroid games, all the other good stuff. I think that's gonna end episode 236. That is in the books, folks. Thank you for joining us on this episode. Got loads of fun doing it. We love all the stuff that you guys do, all the feedback and the interactions. And if you want to interact with us, and we know that you do, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Patreon at Rated G for Gamers. And also, we are part of the Gaming Podcast Alliance. Check out all of the fine podcasts featured on there at gamingpodcastalliance.com if you're looking for more gaming goodness. So, please listen, like, rate, review, and subscribe. And as always,
keep gaming.